Kicking it off in the top left-hand side of the map. Our blue Protoss player is DnS. Guys, you're laughing about seeing my booty. Don't you understand that's how I'm meant to make money on Twitch? I get my booty out, and now you guys are like, oh my god, fucking subscribe, fuck, donate, bits, more booty, more. That's how it works, right? I'm just playing the Twitch game. You guys can laugh all you like. There is a market for those, you know, those girls wanting to see that juicy wardy ass, I'm sure. Baby. It's just a very small market, okay? Bottom right-hand side, our red Zerg is Nerchio. Coming out of a loss against Clem, where honestly Clem did look like the stronger player. Yes, maybe Nerchio not quite. I wonder if Nerchio is just not quite on top of his game, and so doesn't just kind of helps Clem to look so strong, because Clem looked amazing in that series, really. DnS here lost to Showtime, played a pretty good PvP, but got mind gamed a lot along the way, and I think that definitely helped Showtime there. And obviously PvP is a very interesting matchup in itself. I actually really like DNS's PvZ. DNS is always one of these players who I think PvZ is the matchup he excels at, because he gets to play his long game, he gets to defend, he gets to play late, and that's where DNS absolutely does just love to play. And he will mix it up as well, though. He will not just play late every game, he'll also play to kind of go in towards the, you know, sometimes a little bit more aggressively, try and take a lead early, and obviously if he sees a chance to kill, he is one of those players who will take the chance to kill as well, and that's what makes him that high level of player here. What's up, the Christet coming in with the 100 bits. Booty! See guys, it worked. It worked. You hang a decoration on the tree, they see your booty, and boom, you get 100 bits. You're telling me that's not a good, you're telling me that's not a good deal. Hell yeah. Now we see link speed on the way up here from Nerchio, nothing crazy about his free hatch opening. And the Stargate is obviously pretty regular for a ZvP. It's pretty good stuff here. I wouldn't say it's anything crazy at all between the two of them. Obviously, the Stargate really just helps you kind of propel in towards an Oracle and towards a Phoenix and that sort of thing. So, getting this set up. Phoenix currently on the way out. We do have an Adept coming in as well. Link speed is on the way too from Nerchio. Spend that link speed on the way up. There's a couple of lings here taking some shots. Adept will shade down into the main base. A couple of drones going down. 3 workers killed. Not a bad opening from DNS. Getting 3 workers. Oh, that's bad, Nerchio. Needs to fix that. That's the sort of thing that will add up a lot more actually than anything else. Having drones off the mineral patch for too long just extends that damage that was dealt here by those Adepts, which again was already decent, maybe above average, and now it's obviously way above average. So, job well done there, as we're going to be seeing those Zerg ones. Going to come in. We are going to actually get the Adept kill. Awesome. So the Adept goes down as the Phoenix gets rid of the Overlord. The Oracle here now as well. Will he pop the energy? He will, man. Essentially a little bit frustrating, DNS having to pop the energy from the Oracle here. It's 25 less energy he'll have to use across the map, but then again, I guess you're not usually kind of stuck for energy when you go across the map harassing. Very rarely does the Oracle. I guess it happens sometimes, but in this circumstance when there's going to be Queens, etc., I don't think the Oracle running out of energy is going to be what pushes this Phoenix-Oracle combo away. Queen lifts up, the Oracle pops, and has a decent amount of time to deal some damage as the drones go running. Squawkroll about to finish up, now the Oracle will take some energy, and it just gets pushed away just as it runs out of energy, so it's about some time there. Resonating Glaives on the way up here from DNS. Twilight Council being chrono boosted for that. Phoenix hanging out down on the bottom as the Oracle pulls in to the upper left hand side. Phoenix is still just scouting around, trying to pick up info, obviously. I mean, this stage of the game, seeing what's going on. I mean, he sees a Roach Roar, which is nice. Immediately means that it's not necessarily a Hydra style. He actually sees the lair building too, so he knows the Hydras can't be on the way yet. So again, gets a little bit of an idea. Ling Roach is a defense here, and that means DNS might kind of prioritize immortal production here. You know, once this prism is done, he might readjust where he spends his Chrono Boost based on what he knows now. Again, this is a Glaive Adept opening, so from the Glaive Adepts, as we see 3 more Adepts being warped in, we get to this point where, well, DnS initially here is going to start shading across the map. DnS is going to shade across the map. After this, there's always that popular follow-up of the Immortal Adept Sentry Push. That's something DnS could be headed for, with a lot of roaches on the way out, which is kind of, in a way, forced by the Glaive Adepts because it's the better way to defend. That Immortal Push then adds in the Immortals, which are obviously very good against the roaches. Let's see how this goes, because right now picks off a Queen right away. That's a very good start. Should be able to get the second Queen as well before shading out, and in fact will not shade out. He'll just stand around here, picking off a couple of roaches. Not getting many drones though, and now shading. I mean, a few of these Adepts have been going down. Pulling back a little bit further, letting the Lings be siphoned off. He's actually going to end up in the natural where there's roaches already sat. And again, the Adepts will trade with those roaches, but better to lose roaches than it is to lose drones. I'd say for Nerchio, having only lost 2 workers throughout this, he should be pretty happy with the scenario. Adepts go back towards the third base. Roaches already in position here. 2 more drones go down. Combined with the fact there's Adepts in the main, maybe that's where the real damage is going to be done. But still, a lot of good defense so far from Nerchio. All he has to do now is really try and minimize the last few units he loses. The last thing he wants to do is to lose too many more units on the last couple of Adepts. But unfortunately, he goes up to 12 workers lost. But he goes up to 12 workers lost, and all of the Adepts bar 1 in this Warp Prism died. So Nerchio is able to keep on drone and replace those drones because he knows he doesn't have to make any more units, because he knows he's cleaned up the army already. So in a way, while it is 12 drones lost, it's actually 12 drones lost in one of the better ways possible. You'll see here resources lost is actually very similar. Income advantage is a little bit up and down, but it's actually going to end up back in favor of Nerchio. He's on a very comfortable drone count. I wouldn't necessarily say he's got an army supply disadvantage either. You can see that he's a little bit behind on army. Now that his drone count is up, his army supply will generally kind of explode and swell and, you know, do all sorts of good Zergy things that Zerg usually does. So, yeah, I don't hate it for Nerchio. Obviously, losing so many more drones to the last 2 Adepts sucks, but, you know, there are some positives to this way that this played out for him. You know, some brighter sides of the rainbow to look on. Is that even enough saying? I don't think it is. I think I just completely made that up. Some greener portions of the grass to be on. I don't know. You know, sometimes you just shut up. When I realize it's not going well, I should just let it pass, rather than analyzing it and also going nowhere with it. Man, that was some nice force fields. Ravages going down very quickly here. Force fields on the bottom side as well. Another force field to block Ravages and in from kiting away. Missing the Prism though, and missing the extra Adepts here, really. I think DnS realizes this, so he recalls away, but Nerchio is actually going to pick up a bunch of damage. Lost only 4 drones there again. Man, where was the Prism? Dead. Wow. I missed the Prism dying. Okay, sorry guys. Not sure where the Prism died. Probably elsewhere on the map at the same time. That's obviously a pretty huge deal, because with the Prism, it's a very different situation. With the Prism, you get that Adept warp in, and you can probably stick around and fight there a lot more easily. As you do see the Lings and the Ravagers coming down to the low ground, and this counterattack is deadly at the moment. Corrosive Valve's helping to get rid of units warping in, so they can't kite away. Archon's surrounded by Zerglings as well. And actually, this push from Nerchio really getting a lot done here. Let's see how he can continue as he sees himself warping in. He'll turn around for an Immortal kill. Phoenix lifts up one of the Ravagers. Being surrounded, that Immortal. Immortal goes down. Still can't break through, though. Immortal is holding the wall, so DnS will defend. Nerchio's money, though, is going towards a Spire. And as the Spire comes up, Nerchio is going to have a lot of mutas on the way. He'll have like 12 mutalists instantly. And DnS has no idea about it. He's only got 1 Phoenix up. Those 12 meters have a lot of potential to get some damage done. So this has actually turned into a pretty nice little situation here for Nerchio as he runs back away over to the right-hand side. Overseer scouting through the main base, though, I tell you. Nerchio will see the setup here as well. He'll see that, okay, there's no Phoenix Breeze, I'm kind of happy. So, okay, Storm's on its way as well, though. So I'm going to be able to deal with the, you know, not have my mutas overly clumped and be careful of Templar. Because, yeah, where is the Spire? Wardy versus finding the Spire. Oh, there it is, all the way back in the 4th. Man, it's so difficult for me to find. How's DnS meant to find it? Oracle obviously is his best shot, but it's just in completely the wrong base. So he has no information at all at the moment. 15 meters just popped. Lings are running across the map. The meters, I think, have still avoided the Oracle for the moment. Gathering up, and across the map they go. Yeah, they definitely have. There's like 1 cannon added on here, but that is not a defense against the Mutalisk. It really isn't. If he just splits these Mutas, flies in, kills these High Templar, I tell you, I mean, it could go very well for him. Storm is now available, though. Gets 1, gets 2, will get 3. Obviously, the Storm is actually pretty hurting on the Mutas, but there's not much of a follow-up for the Mutas, so they're actually going to have some good time to just regenerate here. Now Cannon and Stalkers will pick off the first Mutalisk of the game. 16 workers already down. With the High Templar killed as well, these Mutas are already finding fantastic damage. Extra probes going down in the main as well. I mean, DnS very quickly responded with an extra Phoenix in production. Loses one of them now, though, and the other one going super low. He is able to pick up another kill and another one. 33 workers now down. Other side of the map, an attempt at counter-attacking doesn't do much. The Oracle, obviously, I mean, DnS very distracted here. Just leaving the Oracle out there, that will go down as well. And those Mutas still just flying around. More Lings, more Hydras heading over to the left-hand side. Mutas fly in, going to go for a couple of extra probes. They're still going to get so much damage with all of this. I mean, that's now 5 workers killed on top of everything we saw before. Just going to see Mutas jumping on top of this pylon. Prism loads up with these Zealots. Gonna recall the Prism away here. Obviously feels he just can't get out alive, so better to recall and go in from a different angle, try and reset. Obviously you need the Mutas one the way as well, right? So that's the issue. And the Prism, again, good recall actually by DnS. Really smart decision. Because if the Mutas coming back home, he wasn't going to get out while the Hydras were sat there, but obviously if the Hydras just going to sit there all day, it's fine to leave the Prism there. But with Mutas, it's a completely different setup. And now Nerchio pushing across the map. A lot of Zerglings, a lot of Hydralisks. Well, those things going to start plucking their way through the natural expansion here. Here's on the bottom side. Find a couple of Phoenix. There's just so many Hydras. Oh my god. The Changelings in the wall are blocking DnS from coming up for so long as well. Mutas will dive bomb the High Templar. So that was the only Storm that will go off here. Well, another Storm was about to be available. But nope, he kills out with the Mutas too. He isn't even afraid of losing the Mutas because he knows the Lings and the Hydras will get enough done here. GG. Nerchio picking up game 1 of this best of 5. Starting off in the bottom right hand side, our blue Zerg player up 1-0 in this best of 5. We have ourselves Nerchio. And to the top left, our red Protoss player from Cascade, DnS. Merry Christmas Impactor in the chat as well. How's everyone's day been? Anyone have any fun stories? Today, during Christmas time with the fam, my mum's little trolley, which, well, my mum has like a little trolley that she puts some snacks on, and people kind of put their drinks on it just as like a kind of just like a table. It just acts as a table, but she uses the trolley just because she doesn't have a table there all the time, basically. So she comes to move the trolley, and for some reason, I think the trolley just on the rug doesn't roll very well, so she kind of just pushes the trolley kind of hard, expecting it just to roll. And of course, it doesn't roll; it just kind of like stutters, and all the drinks fell off and splashed all over the floor on her fairly new rug. It was a bit of a yikes moment, but it's, I think the rug is okay. That was maybe my interesting story of Christmas. So yeah. Go DnS says LaFau sure is here in the chat. Did I have turkey? Yeah, we had turkey. I just had typical Christmas dinner. We had turkey, potatoes, carrots, Yorkshire puddings, naturally. What else do we have? Oh, pigs and blankets, of course. You had roasted duck. Oh, I love duck. Thank you for sharing that. No worries, dude. You gotta tell my Christmas story, you know. Can't just come in here asking for your guys' Christmas stories and then you guys, you know, and then not share mine. Who won between Showtime and DnS? This is the elimination match, which means that DnS was the loser of the series. No one has any interest in Christmas stories. Everyone just woke up, got presents, and that was it. Do you see the cleaner bot trying to vacuum creep? Cleaner bot's my bro, man. I absolutely love the cleaner bot. There he is. He's like, you know what, Nerchio, you need to keep your hatcheries in better shape. I'm telling you, you can't just... I know you're a pro player, and I know you just drink all this Red Bull, and you just leave the cans lying around. You just can't do this anymore. Your drones will not be as efficient without a slippery, slidey creep surface to work on. Mr. Cleanerbot thinks he's really helping. But he actually really isn't doing anything. I mean, like, I know it's been a long time that he's been on this map and stuff, but he actually isn't doing anything. I hate to break this to you guys. He doesn't do anything. I know that's really sad news to you all. I don't know why I told you all that on Christmas. It's like the worst Christmas gift I could have given you guys. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. Poor Cleanbot. You know what? It doesn't matter if you don't do anything. You're still my favorite. Yes, I still love you. I still love your attempts to do stuff, Cleanbot. I'm sorry. I got to act as Santa, says Shyman. It was great. Nice. I dressed up as Santa for one of my tournaments like 2 years ago. It was actually kind of it was a lot of fun. I didn't have any kids around to entertain. Well, Twitch chat. You see what I did there? I was like, Twitch chat are so full of chill. Yeah, you see. Couple drones going down here as the Oracle Phoenix do their thing, and a little bit of harassment. 4 extra gates coming down. And Prism on the way out. Twilight probably then just Templar Archives and charge. This is going to be 6 gateways here to be aggressive. Mech Xavier, thank you so much for the 20. Is that 30 bits? That's 30 bits. Thank you so much, Mech Xavier. Appreciate it, dude. But yeah, yeah, 6 gates, just going to get a bit aggressive before taking the 3rd Nexus, and definitely has some options there, as the Archon drop will also be kind of padded with Zealots. And definitely catch an unexpected Zerg off guard here, so... See this Prism patrolling around at the moment. Archon's loading up, getting this ready to go, getting some action rolling. So again, Archon's going to head in towards the bottom side here. See a few roaches up. Honestly, it's a good setup at the moment from Nerchio to be able to defend against this Warp Prism of Archons. So that's a really good spot for him as 2 Archons drop down. Prism gets into Prismy warp-in mode. And as we see a few extra results coming down at the bottom side, we'll see some extra results here from DnS also warping in. Prism gets out of warp-in mode, and now, well, here he goes. I'll start charging forwards. A couple of Archons dealing some damage. Lifts up on one of these Queens here. Just going to be seeing those roaches getting a lot of damage dealt at the moment, as we do have. That Queen is so low. Nice positioning, though. Stays alive. The Archons now being pushed away. I tell you what, that Prism's taking some real damage too. Queen and a Spore there in the main. Look at that. Look at these overlords just blocking the Spore so you don't think it's there until it's too late. Good defense by Nerchio, really solid, and DnS not able to do too much there. Not able to do much there at all. Archons drop down, pick off a creep teammate. I mean, obviously at this stage, DnS just doing what he can with the Archons. The roaches coming in pretty quick though, man. These roaches just seem to be everywhere. Archons are not having a good time. Nerchio, again, good defense leads into this position now as the Immortal's doing the Immortal jive over here. He's like 1 step left and 1 step right. Prepare for the Christmas dance. 1 step left and 1 step right, then do the swirl around. The other ball's like, dude, you do it the wrong way. You go this way. And then this ball's like, no, I don't do it that way. You know what? I'm sick of you. Let me practice my dance on my own. It's Christmas, goddammit! Just let me dance! A bit of a immortal jive. You see more walls obviously on the way up. Second robo facility is finished up as well, so we are going to be seeing the double mortal. Going to be coming in towards the third base. That's nice. A lot of those going to be great against the lurker den currently coming down. Obviously, lurkers are somewhat vulnerable to those immortal shots. Bonus damage versus armored onto armored units. Funny how that works. So yeah, the immortals are very important. The barriers help them to absorb a few shots of the lurkers as they go in, so there's enough time to get shots onto the lurkers too. With Storm as well, it's just all of the tools you need as DNS to deal with what Nerchio is building into. And this could make this quite an interesting game. As you do see the Hive on the way up now. Obviously, the kind of longer term goals here for Nerchio is to go into Hive. You start getting Vipers and all the rest, further upgrades. From DNS, the long term goal is to survive the lurkers and to probably start transitioning to a late game air army, especially on a map like Parasite, where you have so many bases easy to take. It's actually very difficult to push the Zerg, especially if they have lurkers out. So it's very difficult to outposition them at all, because it's just to rotate between bases takes a long time compared to what it takes to move the lurkers. And every base you're attacking into features these very choky ramps and positions, which basically means the lurkers are going to have the time of their lives as well. So that's why DNS probably is, in the most part, looking to play a later game here, rather than an aggressive style to try and counter against the lurkers. And I would expect that. Obviously, you can't just start building up a Spire now, because you would just die to Roach Hydra. But not Spire Stargate now. But again, in the next 5 minutes or so, I'd be very surprised if we weren't on the Fleet Beacon tech and go into that tier 3 air unit. DNS will present play, but will recall them to help defend this attack now. DNS will probably want a 4th base, then look towards that Fleet Beacon. On Nerchio's side, he gets the Spire, probably just something so you can build a greater Spire now that his Hive is on the way up. As you do see, these first few Hydras are actually just getting hunted down. They'll get picked away at pretty easily. Adaptive talents coming in on the lurkers. We actually haven't seen any lurkers so far. Nerchio just waiting a little bit before he goes into them. Might just want to... Okay, there we go. First 7 on the way. Might just want to really be sure about what he wants to build here. See if he can get away without them, maybe even. While he built into something else. There's also one of those options. Don't know. 7 lurkers coming up. And more here at the front. So just getting them ready to go. 5th base will come down, having taken the forward base to push creep forwards and set separate from. This back base now is actually fairly easily held. Just need some creep over here to make sure he sees any attacks coming in soon enough. The last thing you want to have happen is like Zealots to get warped in here, or in here and here. Just avoid this creep spread. It's very likely Nerchio will not be paying attention to that base because he expects to see any attack coming in ahead of time on creep. There's a nice push in, actually, getting a few creep tumors and some bits and pieces again. Although a observer would go and work wonders here to get the rest of the creep killed off. And seeing those lurkers now, DNS is probably just thinking, well, I probably can't attack into that. So where do I go? Well, maybe back home to defend. 4th Nexus on the way up. Isn't ready just yet. And this counter-attack with Nerchio coming in, starting to surround the cannons. Well, Zealots get warped in, but now the lurkers and the Hydras are showing up as well. DNS is going to take this as an opportunity to move in. Oh! The cooling tower gets knocked down. With the cooling tower getting knocked down, what that allows to happen is the High Templar have to pull away, so there's no storms here. That means that DNS cannot hold that choke point like he was probably hoping to by pushing up this ramp. And Nerchio is going to push DNS away. What a play on the rock cooling tower, as the 4th Nexus of DNS going down now as well. Absolutely fantastic so far. Absolutely fantastic. Damn. Okay, great play by Nerchio. He's playing really well in this ZvP at the moment. As we see him jumping into the natural. A few probes going down. 10 workers killed here. Archons recalled to deal with this, but actually loses 2 of them. So even then, I feel like this hasn't been so bad. The lurker and burrows and, well, may have gotten away with it if it hadn't been for that dastard meddling immortal. Empowered one of the robos here as well as he broke through the front, which is really nice. Again, slowing down immortal production. Especially when DNS just lost a good few units. He wants to keep that immortal production going. He needs to get rebuilt. There's the mothership on the way out. So Fleet Beacon is down, but still only, okay, he is on triple Stargate. He doesn't have the money to actually spend on anything. The fact he's not got his 4th base now, the fact he took so much damage to that attack and didn't deal that much, means that he just doesn't have the money to realistically go into that sky transition, which we were talking about, that he really probably wanted to go for here. So that is a little bit of a shame. As you see these units gathering up out the front, Overlord from Nerchio starting to come up to the top side. Probe is being chrono boosted. And there are the couple of Tempests currently just on the way through. Greater Spire about to complete. Meaning that Brute Lords will be on the map as well. So Nerchio really taking this to a late game army of his own. Brute Lords, Lurkers, very difficult units to engage into, though Tempest will help to deal with both of them. Push back Brute Lords from a distance, push back the Tempest from a distance. These Zealots running into the left-hand side. How's going to be able to pick up a few of these kills? A few Brutes coming up. Lurkers going to run up the right-hand side here from Nerchio. And obviously at this stage it's about trying to pull those Protoss into a couple different positions at the same time. But again, Parasite is like the worst map to do this on. This is why Parasite tends towards longer games. The bases are so set back, the bases are so easy to hold on to, and it's why, again, DnS, we expected him to go into this higher tech setup rather than anything else. Lurker's going to burrow here on the high ground. Storm's coming down to kind of soften him up. Yes, if you get rid of the Overseer, the army with the Mothership could just come in here. It looks like the Mothership is being targeted, so that is currently, or the Overseer is being targeted, that's the plan. Storm's on the left side do a fantastic job. And as we do see, Gateway's going down, Immortal, the rest of the army coming forwards. Time to get out of there. Lurker going down, but again, DnS loses the 4th base. That's really starting to suck for him. No 4th base in this game is really, really painful. Nerchio pulling back, keeping a good amount of units alive as well. He is just starving DnS out of this. I mean, a little bit longer here, and DnS is going to have absolutely no way to stay in this. Like, he's just not going to have the money. We're already 14.5 minutes in. Protoss is trying to take the 4th base at like 9 minutes. It's getting ridiculous here, guys. Getting a little bit crazy. Couple of Void Rays on the way up here from DnS at the moment. Couple of Vipers also on the way out. Plus 3 missile attack coming in on the Evolution Chamber. Man, the creep from Nerchio is insane as well, though. I get the feeling we're not going to be seeing DnS attacking anytime soon. I get the feeling we're going to be seeing DnS just sitting back and hanging out a little bit. So how's your guys' day? Anyone see that weather today? There was like a sun in the sky. It's actually really cold here. It was actually like a really nice day. Like, it was nice and sunny, but it was freezing cold. It was freezing cold last night as well when I finished up casting. It was really, really cold. Viper's out here, just consuming up. Spores sitting out the front again. Creep just pressing up the left-hand side. More Tempest on the way out now. Spire is about to finish. I mean, it's the second Spire, just so you can go into extra upgrades. And again, we're kind of in the sort of sit back. So I guess it is kind of the time for Nerchio to sit back, because it's getting to this counter Tempest where you're not going to be able to push like you were before. Because you're just going to get cleaned up a lot easily. So I actually kind of like the idea of sitting back a bit. Let's see if it pays off. It just feels like a bit of a shame just because he really was doing a great job of denying this 4th base. A couple of Lurkers came up the right. Looks like they never really got up to anything. Because now we're going to be having the Prism into the main base. Wants to get a few Zealots in. I mean, obviously, warp pins into the main, the sort of thing that's going to be really frustrating to deal with when you have like a Lurker, Brutal, Corruptor army. So counterattacks will probably just start to pick their way through this base very slowly over the course of the game. Right now, wasn't able to morph in many Zealots because he's actually supply blocked. I'll tell you what, DnS made an attack down the left side that's got a little bit of momentum going with it. Corruptor's ready to come in here. A yoink on the Mothership. Big Storm, though. And a couple of feedbacks as well, but then goes the Mothership now. Needs for, well, Storms, really. No reason not to be storming those Corruptors. Is honestly a lot lost on either side here. The Tempest dealt a good amount of damage. The Storms were pretty good as well. And, oh, that High Templar just survives. And Nerchio also losing a little, obviously killing a little bit as well, killing that Mothership, killing some units because he just had that many Corruptors. Awesome. So we're seeing a couple of, a little bit of creep going in down in the middle. Now Prism on the bottom left side. I love this. Double Prism play. Although obviously with Corruptors, you have to be very careful about just leaving your Prism AFK over here, because Corruptors should just be able to come and clean that up. Bottom left base gets taken down. So DnS doing his part of denying Nerchio's economy. And Nerchio, I mean, both these guys are on ridiculous draw numbers. Nerchio only on 65 to 70, which for late game Zerg is not a lot without a bank, right? Like if he had a bank, then sure, he could get rid of a few of them. Right now, he doesn't even have a bank, so that's going to be something. It's coming up here. So we've seen Void Rays coming in, picking up that Overlord on the right side. 2 more carriers on the way out, and we're going to be seeing Zealots continue to charge on in towards the Spine Crawler. Always the right side from Nerchio hanging out as well. Corruptors do get that Prism. A couple of storms went down on these Corruptors to soften them up. The problem is there's no real follow-up, so these Corruptors can just back away and begin to regenerate. Prism to the right side, couple of Immortals inside of it. Some creep being cleaned out at the moment here. Carrier's on the way up to join the Tempest. Yeah, it's a nice day, isn't it, guys? Nice day for some StarCraft, apparently. Hey. What is that? Diesel MP. The 500 bits! Marbles! You know, it's actually crazy. If I take the day off StarCraft, no one shows up and is like, Waddy, why are you not casting StarCraft today? You don't do marbles because you're feeling really passionate about StarCraft, you got loads of stuff you want to cast. And people are like, wait, dude, did you forget the marbles? Hey, was there not meant to be marbles today? Marbles? Marbles? Marbles. It's actually a thing, like it's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, I was going to do some marbles this week, or these couple of days, but honestly, I've just been enjoying doing the StarCraft stuff. So, yeah, I'm sorry. The StarCraft stuff's going really well right now, like, it just makes sense to keep doing StarCraft stuff if I can do StarCraft stuff. As much as fun as marbles is, StarCraft is somehow bringing me in more revenue than marbles. I know, isn't that absolutely bonkers to believe? We did a little bit of marbles at the end of the stream the other day. There's definitely going to be more marbles coming up, guys. It's just one of those things where December got really busy. There was loads of StarCraft to do, and it's just going really well, so we'll keep on doing it. Cannons pushing this Overlord. These cannons are playing like Overlord tennis, and now the Overlord's stuck in the middle on the net somehow. Oh, Overlord tennis was really fun for a few moments there. You know what the worst thing about Overlord tennis is, though? Those freaking Overlord balls are just so freaking vulnerable, so fragile. You know, they take a few hits, sure. They seem alright right away. That's why people buy them. But then, before you know it, the next thing, boom, they just blow up. And, you know, it's not like they just burst open or something. They like burst in this like purple, icky goo. Ugh. The cons of playing Overlord tennis. Feels bad, man. That's some nice abducts that we saw on the left side. The Zealots going a little bit wild in the main as well. Some lurkers will come to respond to this. And this side, Prism players are so frustrating to deal with over time. Again, DnS probably going to slowly pick his way through the entirety of this main. 5 carriers currently being chrono boosted out as DnS gathers up. Corruptors and Vipers coming out over the left-hand side. Brood sat in front as well. And again, there's a couple of Corruptors really just going after the Prism. I mean, Prism's going to die. Try to get an extra warp in, but there's still some lurkers left here. It's actually quite nice. You leave a couple lurkers behind. It's a good way to deny it as an Immortal goes wandering down the right side. It's a stage of the game when Immortal really isn't needed, so he's got a few of them still in the army. I'd imagine he would kind of start to phase a few of those out. So I kind of thought that's what this was. Maybe he wants a few of them still, but as he maxes out and has money to rebuild without trading, Immortals definitely can be seen just wandering the map and going and picking off bases, you know, to the left, to the right, here and there, all that sort of stuff. Carriers, Voids, and Immortals coming down the center as we do see +3 Fly Cappers coming in on the Greater Spire. On the right side of Stalker going to pick its way through that Overlord. Overlord going down. Bottom left, some Zarts running in too, getting some drones. Nerchio has a big gas bank, but not many minerals. He's actually taking this base here. This is a base that's very difficult to mine from on Parasite, so if he can get this base and mine from it, bottom left base becomes much more accessible later into the game because it's much easier to take a base that's further back, right? Harder for DnS to push down there, unless he completely cleans up the left side of the map, in which case, well, that base would also be pretty vulnerable. Ducks once again as the carrier is going to get taken down. Obviously, this back and forth will continue. I mean, neither player wants to commit to a straight-up fight because, I mean, you just don't win in a straight-up fight. Like, Nerchio doesn't win in a straight-up fight, so he'll never take a straight-up fight. And if DnS tries to take a straight-up fight, he would win. But then, of course, he is going to be kind of forced to fight into Nerchio's defensive position because Nerchio's not going to just sit there unless if he can run away. So in a fight over here, then DnS is going to have a really rough time. So I mean, fasten your seatbelts, guys. We're in for a long game, I think. Like, we're 23 minutes in, and there's absolutely zero sign of this going anywhere. Like, zero sign at all. As those Immortals, we were talking about those just a few moments ago at this stage of the game. You probably want to clean them out for other units, and they are very good at picking off structures, so funnily enough, Immortal Run-Bys are actually a pretty reasonable thing to go for. You know, that's actually good use of the Immortals. I'm just going to be seeing the feedbacks coming down already. Top right, a few lings running by. That's obviously annoying for DnS. He will have to take further bases here shortly. If he's being pulled around, I mean, his main army's all the way over to the right, so it's a great chance for Nerchio to come in on the left side here. Maybe deny a base. The Broodlords are slow moving, but if the army's all the way top right, I guess the issue is the recall is available, so you could just recall down to this bottom left, which is this far left. 9 more Corruptors on the way up. Carriers still coming through. DnS coming down the right-hand side. Again, just a long game, guys. One of those games where, as well, we're just going to have some moments where it's going to be just, you know, a little bit of quiet time where the players are not going to be making many moves. I like this by Nerchio, though, by the way. This hatchery over here is kind of a base that DnS is probably meant to have. He kind of forces DnS if he wants to trade evenly in this game. He's doing a bad job of that, so he definitely needs equal bases. It kind of means DnS has to expand here, which is a Zerg base, naturally, and he did clean out this base here, so maybe there's some potential for him to expand there. Trying to take that top right side again, because this forward position is a little bit more difficult to hold. But Nerchio has fortified this forward position, so bases for him are not currently an issue. 41 probes means that DnS, his bank is basically non-existent. But over time, his bank will grow, because now that they are maxed out, and it doesn't look like they're going to fight, DnS will be able to get some mining going. So, again, it's a tough one, because also Nerchio, again, he doesn't really want to take a fight without his Spore Crawlers. His Spore Crawlers can only come some far forwards. From right side, Zealots charging in. Picking up a Queen, couple of Spines going to be taking some damage. So Spine Crawlers going down. Again, you're going to see this Corrupt Army starting to come forward. Storm hits some Changelings. I always find it funny when players just kind of Storm Changelings instead of like A-clicking them. It's like, you know what, I really cannot be bothered, dude. Like, Storm. It actually isn't even that they're clumped up like that, I guess. I mean, you know, APM is the resource, right? You know, you've got to think, what's better for me right now? To quickly drop a Storm or to A-click all of them? Sometimes the Storm actually is the better choice. How did I end up doing marbles so much? Because for about a week when we first started doing marbles, people went absolutely crazy and were donating and subscribing en masse so that we would do more marbles. Because I was like, oh, we'll do an hour of marbles at the end of the stream, and people just kept paying me more and more money to keep doing marbles, basically. So that's how we hit 1,000 subscribers. People subscribed for marbles. It's just like a fun thing that became a bit ridiculous, and now it has calmed down a lot. But people still have fun playing. I still have fun playing as well, but it's a lot calmer than what it used to be. That's a Makara DeRay. Is that a Twitch Prime sub? Is that your sub? Are you going on the tree? Hell yeah! Thank you so much for the 4 months of the Twitch Prime. As you see this army pressing down the right side, a whole bunch of spores. Going to be picked off here. A ton of spores being picked off. And DnS making space on the right-hand side of the map. Controlling the right side makes it much easier for him to take this base now as well. Oh, he's actually going to start going into this. Guys, I'm not going to lie, my PC is just going to die a little bit here. I'm actually working on buying a new PC. I discussed this on stream a bit yesterday to help with some of these FPS issues. Obviously, in a game like this, we're just going to have to deal with it. I do apologize. These interceptors just murder my PC, apparently. You know what, Lena? I actually feel like you can probably get a decoration during the game, because this game is, well, about to hit the 30-minute marker and still doesn't really feel like it's going anywhere. Still doesn't really feel like it's going anywhere at all. This is your base rate TV with the people who put on this tournament, so shout out to Rifkin. It's something that was actually really cool of him. He just said, yeah, if you want to cast it, you're very free to cast it as like an extra English stream. So that's how we ended up casting this, which is super awesome. Super awesome. I love Mint Crystal, by the way. He's just like, and on Twitch too. Like, just in case they're not currently watching on Twitch. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me, you know what, my webcam. Is my webcam going to work here if I click it? Yeah, cool. Alright, as we follow this army, Makara, DeRay, Lynn, thank you so much for the 4-month Twitch Prime resub. Let's put you on the tree. Oh, come on, Nerchio. Don't attack as we're about to go to the tree. That's really bad mana of you. Oh, good storm. Yeah, that's... You know what, Nerchio? That's what you deserve for attacking at this time. Okay, I'm going to multitask. Carriers, Archons, and High Templar push into this base. And as they push into this base, the opportunity is there to shut down a really important mining base from Nerchio, which we talked about this space before and its importance. Good shutdown, a needed shutdown by DnS. It forces Nerchio out of his comfort zone, forces him forwards, took down a lot of the stack defense while this army was out of position. Carriers being picked off by those Corruptors, though, does get that one back in. The Corruptors are still chasing. Storms, no, it's the mothership that gets brought forwards now. Archon's underneath, getting a few shots. The Interceptor's going wild. Another abduct, and another carrier will fall. Alright, as these back away, we've got a resurrected decoration too. Run, 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 run! This one, quick! X-Mathman, X-Resurrected! Thank you, Lena, for the 4-month free sub. Appreciate it. Let's get rid of WardiCam. Let's get back into the game. Of course, if you guys are enjoying this stream, I guess, you know, basically going to do some plugging. I'll do some plugging. If you guys are enjoying this stream, do you think about hitting that follow button? See when I go live again in the future. Try and cast StarCraft 2 daily here on the channel. If you really like what you're doing, I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/WardiTV. You can !YT in the chat to get a direct link there. We upload VODs 3 times a day. And also, if you're really loving this stream, if you're feeling in that Christmas spirit of giving, you can subscribe, you can donate, you can share bits, you can use your Twitch Prime subscribe to give for free. All of it helps you to put on more StarCraft content. So shout out to you guys. You have already been wonderful today with bits and donations. Thank you, appreciate it. And thank you for all the resubs and the subs as well. It's been a cool little evening Christmas stream so far. Couple of Vipers getting feedback there, keeping them low on energy. Man, it's so difficult to decide what you're clicking on though in this army, right? Like, these High Templar come forwards and they drop a few feedbacks. It's like, well, how do you know what you're clicking on? Does he know? I feel like he does, because he hit 3 Vipers there with those free feedback, so that's so sick. It's not easy to do. Pylon, Assimilator going down on the upper left side. And try and break through the front door. As you see the Lings going to be able to pick up that Zeld. Archon's coming in though, we'll be able to push that back. Generally, so the reason that we see Nerchio playing with a lot of Lings here is, okay, yes, their counterattack potential and stuff is cool. But you get to this point with the Zerg army where you actually run out of gas on the map a lot faster than you run out of minerals. So it gets to a stage where you're basically out of gas and you can't mine anymore. And then you're basically forced to only build Lings or Queens because you don't have any gas. Nerchio is essentially trying to offset that right now by making the Lings now when they're more useful, rather than making them later when he has no gas left, at which point they're probably not going to get as much done. Lings now are shutting down, bases from mining, they're shutting down production, they're forcing DnS around the map, so he's getting much more value than remaxing on Lings for them to run into Archons later on, so that definitely does make a lot of sense. Hey, wow. Huckleberry Clover with the $50 donation! Holy shit. Man does a little bit of a mid-game sellout and it works. Crazy. Can we get some love and some hype in the chat for the $50? Comes in and says, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, dude. Well, these are just Lings down. We don't have to talk about them. They're not important enough. I'm sorry. I mean, when 285 plus Zergans have died this game, a few extra doesn't really mean so much. Those Corruptors coming in, though, trying to do some more damage. Did I just say Merry Christmas? Merry Christmas, Wardy, and thanks for all of your hard work towards SC2. There's some love in the chat for the $50 from Huckleberry Clover. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're a legend. Thank you. Thank you. The reality is you probably just feel sorry for me because, like, we're now 35 minutes in game and this still has no sign of ending. How many motherships were killed this game? Oh, just a casual 3. This unit's lost time is actually pretty fun. 16 carriers lost is actually massively expensive. What's the resources lost? Still massively favoring Nerchio there. How interesting. Alright, well, this army of Nerchio is moving over to the right-hand side. Fruit's going to be coming up towards the top. I'll take a moment or so to just take in what's going on here. Next, a few spores coming down. Can I show the income? Yeah, I mean, the work accounts are pretty honest, right? Like, Nerchio is basically, like, let's do this quickly. Like, he's mined out of gas. On even these are mined out of gas as well. So he's basically mined out apart from these bases, which actually, these bases have gas on it. That's actually huge. He needs to realize that. Because that's actually a huge amount of gas he's missing. In fact, he isn't mining gas here either, or gas here. Nerchio, what are you doing? Get your gas going. That's actually so important, because we're talking about how important the gas is, and he is lacking gas. He really needs to start that gas mining, because the sooner he does, I mean, this base has 5,000 gas on it, or 4,500 gas on it. That's so much gas. That's actually kind of crazy. That's actually really crazy. What's he doing? Does he just not realize? I mean, he mustn't, right? Like, there's no way in his right mind he wouldn't. But, I mean, he's just set up this base recently. He's over here. Man, this is, that's obviously actually kind of a big deal, because if Nerchio loses this army, or loses a portion of this army, he only really has the ability to rebuild, like, 10-ish units, depending on what he's building. So he's really not able to rebuild anywhere near the masses of what he has right now, because he's limited by gas. Obviously, DnS can only build so much as well, but he is mining more gas because it's already set up. It's kind of a big deal. This base has gas too, which I think DnS is realizing is going to start pushing towards. Our ship goes down yet again. Groot's going to start pushing that up the left-hand side as Lings will immediately run into this base. DnS trying to cancel what he can, but he will actually get here to defend it. The Lings go down so quickly. Oh, is Nerchio actually going to lose this game because he doesn't mind gas? I actually think he's going to lose this game because he doesn't mind gas. And he's picking off a lot of the production. Where are the Stargates? There's one here. He probably has to rebuild Stargates, DnS. In fact, DnS is going to have no production here in a few moments. That's kind of crazy. Archon's getting a creep tumor. Oh, that's not a pretty position, but again, I guess it's a decent-ish time to fight. I mean, I guess there's no really amazing time to fight here. We've seen those interceptors going wild. There's just so many interceptors. It's kind of ridiculous. Gets a Viper there. The other Viper's trying to hang back a little bit. The Spore's going in. Void's helping out. High Templar probably don't want to storm because he's afraid of hitting his own stuff. Corruptors trying to come through as well. Now Nerchio has spent the rest of his gas, so he's only on 20 gas remaining. So now anything Nerchio loses in the sky is something he can't really rebuild. DnS has obviously still got money here. Builds up 4 carriers. Where are those Stargates? One here, one there. They're actually just so spread out. That's actually ridiculous. Yeah, they're mostly over here. Okay, Cal, that's really nice. He actually grabs units as they come out over here, so that's a big pick-off. Nerchio's got 3,000 minerals and no gas. What a mistake. Like, I know I'm going on and harping on about it, guys, but it's actually insane how big of a deal that is. We're going to see the recall out here by DnS. Only loses the carrier in the recall. Again, there's gas available here. He's still not making it, though. Okay, finally he starts up these extractors, probably realizing his mistake. I don't think he'll notice this gas here, though. I think he just assumes this base is completely mined out. Yeah, I think he just probably assumes that right now, which, can you blame him? Probably not. So, I mean... That's weird. Spores. I don't know, like, DnS is still kind of not on much money himself. He has, what, 1,300 gas remaining? He has 1,300 gas remaining, DnS, if he doesn't take another base. So DnS basically doesn't have any gas of his own left, which might be the saving grace for Nerchio. Nerchio trying to take these extractors here, which have, like, 800 gas on it, but any gas is good gas at the moment. There's no creep all the way up here, so if DnS sees this, he should be able to jump on that base and shut that down. Corruptors and Overseers hanging out over on the right. Lings running into the natural and up into the main. Gonna get themselves burrowed away in the corner. A few more Zerglings for a moment kind of wanted to run on by. And we do see these changelings. I mean, I guess may as well keep the Overseer energy low, right? Because A, it gives you information for the changes, but also the Overseer energy being low means they can't get feedback. Not that I think feedbacks are something that DnS is currently aiming for on the Overseers. He just has so many. He's flying around like 14 Overseers. Oh, really nice feedbacks on the Vipers, and he kills a bunch of them with E-carriers. Oh, big pickoffs right there. Those Vipers are so difficult to replace right now. They're so expensive, and they're such crucial units as well. Those abducts have been huge throughout. Army coming forwards. Getting towards what could be a conclusion here soon, because at this stage DnS is starting to chip away at Nerchio, and Nerchio's kind of starting to run out of options. DnS is going to start coming in from the top side. The interceptors are going to start going crazy. Now, he did kill a lot of the tech when he was in the main base. Infestation pit's down. Nerchio's not rebuilt, and he's got a Spire though. Does he just not want to build more Corruptors? Oh my god, the Broods are getting massacred down on the bottom. Here come the Corruptors coming in, but the Voids have prismatic alignment to push that back. I'm going to be seeing these spores going down. Over on the left side as well, picking his way through these. This hatchery is going to go down, so that's gas mining from Nerchio tonight. Imagine Nerchio mined gas on this base. He's mined this base out of minerals. He could have had like 1,000 or 2,000 more gas in this game. From this base alone, he did realize this base as well. He's just started mining here as well. That could be 2 more. I think Nerchio wins the game with that gas. I mean, now he's kind of low on minerals as well. Fair enough. But obviously, he used a ton of minerals on Zerglings, which he actually didn't need to use as many on. Because he could have made... So if some of those minerals for other gas-based units. Patch coming down on the top side. Another base denied here as Nerchio's supply is slowly tipping away. Slowly falling off here. Man, what a game this has been though. What a series this is going to be. I mean, this is just game number 2 of the series. And if DnS wins this, which it is starting to look like, then there is a very good chance that this is, well, this is going to go 1-1 then. And if this goes 1-1, well, we got potentially 3 more games of this. This has been ridiculous. Resources lost, by the way, has evened up. All of those lings eventually added up to bring DnS back into resources lost. So in the end, it's just a matter of he was able to mine more. I guess Nerchio was. I can't believe he messed up the gas. It's such a huge mistake. Nexus drops down. Corruptors chilling out on the right side. Coming back through the center, Voids and Carriers coming in, picking up a few of these troop tumors as well, so still getting some damage done here. DnS wandering over through the center, over to the left-hand side. Rhino parasitic bombs? He's lost his Vipers. The issues with parasitic bombs, unless you have tons of them, you're not really gonna... I mean, I guess the Void Rays? But he just has no Vipers now. The thing is, you don't... The parasitic bombs, you just start backing away as DnS, you split up, right? Like... It doesn't overall usually kill stuff, whereas the abducts are guaranteed kills. So overall, I think the abducts are much better value than the parasitic bombs against an army like this, which, you know, the units are very tanky. It's not like you're fighting against... It's not like 1 or 2 would be nice, but it's just not going to be... I think the abducts are so much better. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. You see this situation so rarely. I'm not saying parasitic bombs are bad, I'm just saying if Nerchio isn't using them, there's got to be a reason, right? If Nerchio isn't using them, well, it's because he has no Vipers right now, but if he wasn't using them before, probably just because he feels like abducts are the better way to go. Here we go, big fight. Time Warp dropping down as well. Big fungal growth on the Carriers in the back. High Templar's getting taken down. There's not much left on the ground here, but Nerchio also doesn't really have much left in the sky. The spores on the bottom right are not burrowing, and these interceptors are just killing absolutely everything. Nerchio's going to type out GG at 45 minutes and 45 seconds. Game number 2 goes the distance. Let's jump our way into a game 3 of this series. To the bottom left-hand side, we have got the red Protoss player from Cascade. It's DnS. Tying this up 1-1. In the upper right-hand side, our blue Zerg is Nerchio. Huckleberry saying it's really nice to see some SE2 streaming on Christmas. Well, it's cool to be here. I mean, obviously it's very hard to... I mean, I obviously usually cast, right? So it's kind of hard to cast anything live on Christmas, but... Cool to be able to come in with the... some replays that we've had lying around and bring you guys some action. Glad so many of you are enjoying it. That's the most important thing. Da, 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 da. How so? What do you mean? I mean, it's tough to get livestock up for Christmas because everyone's celebrating Christmas, right? But having some replays, cool to be able to share some stuff and cool to see enough people enjoying it. It's been a fun evening. It has been a fun evening. probe coming around. I'm seeing a few Zerglings going to be moving down towards the bottom left-hand side. Stargate on its way up, about halfway done. We cast any more series after this one? Yes, we have at least 2 more series after this. Well, yeah, I mean, we have at least 2 more because we have the winners match between Showtime and Clem. Then we have the decider match. Then after that, I don't know what we're doing yet. Can't get to see where the time is at. We're already live for 3.5 hours here, actually, so we'll just sort of roll with it. I mean, obviously a 46-minute game throws a lot of things into tandem. I thought we might do a bit more, but for, you know, if the games keep on being long, then maybe not. I don't know. I'm kind of down to just cast some games with you, though. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what comes of it. Do you see this Adept is wandering down towards the lower left-hand side? Link speed is about to finish up here from Nerchio. Do you see an Oracle being credit boosted out from DnS? A second Stargate going to be thrown down as well. So going into a couple of Stargates here, and obviously this is probably going to be for a whole bunch of Phoenix. So Oracle heading in towards the upper left-hand side. And just going to be seeing the Oracle here moving up across the map. Nothing happens. Protoss is 7 workers ahead. I mean, it's kind of how the game works. Not everyone's macro mechanics put you in the same positions. It's crazy, isn't it? Oracle getting pushed out of the natural. A few drones going down. I mean, nice little opening so far. A couple of more Phoenix on the way out left from Nerchio. And, well, against Delta Depth and the Stalker just gathering up from DnS here. Looking as though he wants to move in towards the third base in the next few moments. The workers need Santa hats. They do, don't they? That'd be great. We've had workers with party hats before. Oracle going backwards and forwards. You're going to see these Phoenix coming over the right-hand side. Jumping in towards the main base. 9 roaches on the way up, and power upgrade as well. Gonna go for the Overlord here right away. So nice first pick off as the Phoenix get into action. Double Robo back at home. Very typical follow-up to this as well. As you're going to be seeing first roach down. Another roach pulls away for a moment, trying to keep itself safe. A few drones going down as well. Nerchio throwing down some emergency spore crawlers at the moment. 8 drones, 9 drones on the way up, 10 drones on the way up. Seeing a Twilight Council and the Forge coming in here from DnS as well. So continuing to get this up. These couple of robos finishing on the natural. Phoenix going to come in and pick up that Queen. Have a Queen as well. Oh! Is Nerchio on a little bit of a tilt? Yeah! I mean, that's sort of regular damage done for Phoenix, right? Like, yeah, I mean, that's what? How? Nerchio, no, come on! Well, he's going to open with the 12 pool on the bottom right-hand side. And at the top left, our red Protoss player is DnS. Ah! God damn it. This was such a cool series in games 1 and 2. And now, like, Nerchio sort of taps out early. Now he's throwing down the 12 pool. Ah. It kind of feels like he's not really into it anymore, doesn't it? Damn. He's playing so well as well. Like, I really feel like the only thing he messed up on in that Parasite game was he didn't mine the gas he could have mined early enough. And that really affected him. Yeah, I think full tilt is definitely the word at the moment. Spawning pool going to finish. 6 Zerglings on the way up here from Nerchio, getting this ready to go. DnS just going to be having the probe moving into the main. He's going to scout this, he's going to see it's a 12 pool. And, I mean, then DnS, the easy option here is just to fully wall off, not mess around at all. And, well, second gateway already. Cybercore. Yeah, I mean, full wall off. I mean, what can you say? I wonder if he might cancel the gateway, the second one here. Maybe, and then build something else so the Zealot just creates a wall. Otherwise, he is walled in. And that takes away some of his counterattack potential. Oh, there is a gap there. God damn. Some of these Protoss walls are so crazy sometimes. That does not look like a gap in the slightest, does it? Like, if without the Zealot between it, it does not look like a wall off. God damn. Alright, well, Zealot and the wall off. And then it's perfectly fine. You get 2 gates. The 2 gates are really nice because it actually really ups your counterattack potential. Obviously, your counterattack potential is really cool because then you've not only already got your opponent on a low drone count from the attack, you're then going to force him to not be able to drone because you're counterattacking, forcing more units again. You can see the Lings trying to break through the front. The Zealots pulling back here again. I mean, just with the probe scout, you pretty much hold this off. And now it's going to be 2 Zealots, 2 Adepts, and they can go across the map there against slow Zerglings. Nerchio throws down a Baneling Nest of all things. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. I think it is kind of one of those situations. Lings hanging out on the left as we do see the Adepts coming through the center. Lings hanging now. Bane Nest about to finish. Green just still in front of the natural. Obviously, one of the big issues with a 12 pool is you're going to have such a late third hatchery. Well, 5 Banes on the way up. DnS just needs to defend. I mean, he's got 1 Zealot on the wall. If this Zealot takes the damage and this Zealot replaces it, this is straight up a hold. And, well, these Adepts just going to back away for the moment. There's no Ling speed, for God's sake. Oh, my God. Here we go. Well, Nerchio is going to be able to break through the Zealots. And the slow Zerglings will run into the base. A lot of Adepts on the way up. More slow Lings coming across the map. I mean, these Adepts are going to come back over, though. So he's already started Paladin to repower the gateways. As long as he gets rid of these Zerglings and keeps an Adept in the wall, right? This should be kind of okay, I think. Because the Adept, I mean, he's going to be slow. It is possible. And he's going to come forwards here. Shades backwards, has a Zealot there instead. Zealot could maybe move forwards to be that fine kind of initial wall against the Banes here. Yeah, Nerchio keeps on trying. Going to go for it in a second. Here we go. Zealot moves towards the Adept. Is going to get there as well to wall off a second time. And now, well, now there's multiple Adepts. And now the Banes will not be able to break through. There's not enough damage there. Might be able to kill this gateway, though. But again, it's slow Zerglings. He's just going to lose too many of them on the way in. GG. And after an insane game number 2, a very good game 1,